The Las Vegas Aces are the 2025 WNBA Champions, and baby, we have been on a ride this season. I didn't think we were going to be here. I'm going to keep it a bean. Y'all know. If y'all been around with me for a minute, y'all know that I did not think the Aces were going to be in the championship at the start of the season. And I'm critical of this team because I love this team. From the ownership group, from the front office, they treat people well. $40 million facility. They gift their alumni, going all the way back to San Antonio. They care about the people who built the foundation for the team. The city nourishes the players. I also love their marketing, their PR, communications team. That's my love language. As a person that works in social media, I love a good social media platform. I love a good admin. I love a good newsletter. I love a good post-game presser. I don't think it's a secret that Vegas has the best post-game pressers. They're always going viral. But to make those moments, you have to have great journalists. You have to have great reporting. Callie Finn works for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, and she's always in the pressers. She's always asking a tough question. I'm like, dang, Callie, you just gave it to him. She don't butter it up or nothing. She just go in for it, and they were losing tough losses. It's not easy to ask people questions in the heat of the moment. Talking to the coaches and players after they just lost the game is tough. They have Callie Finn. They have Nikias. He's always asking the high basketball IQ questions. And I like to say that they had me. I was in there for a few post-game press conferences, and I had the honor to talk to Coach Hammon, A'ja Wilson, Jackie Young, NaLyssa Smith, people that I truly admire, and to ask them questions about the game to get a real-life thought process behind some of the things that we see play out. In July, I talked to Coach Hammon after back-to-back losses. They lost to the Indiana Fever, and then they turned around and lost to the Minnesota Lynx. I asked her about her leadership after the Indiana Fever loss. They lost 80-70, and it was a game that they let slip away from them. But even then, she was saying the overall sense of the team is good. She said that she's learned she just wants to love on them. She don't want to critique them all the time. Because these are pros, right? Like, they know what to do. It's about doing it. It's about just coming to work. Like they always say, Coach Hammon and A'ja, when you ask them about, what's next, how do you move forward from this, just come to work. We watched a team go through the fire and remain humble. And we know the cheat code on how to do that. Pour into your people. Love on your people, block out the noise, because we was talking. Listen, they blocked out the noise. They put their head down and they did what they had to do. Because we was talking. I was definitely talking. Listen, they put me in the video. I'm one of the ones that was talking that they put in the video. Thankfully, they didn't put my face. But you know what? I ain't mad. I stand on everything that I said. I apologize. But at the time that I said it, I feel like I was justified in saying what I said. But now that things have played out the way that they have, listen, I apologize, because I will never doubt these group of women again. I am a Kelsey Plum fan. I was not sold on Jewell Loyd to start the season. Let's be for real. She getting paid $200,000. Wow. Listen, Jewell Loyd is getting paid the most money on the team. And the beginning of the season was frustrating to watch. It was frustrating to watch. I don't know what happened to her in Seattle, but I know that it impacted her deeply. And I know that we got to witness someone overcome adversity, because we don't have to know the details. We don't have to know the details to know that people were hurt. She had to heal. We watched a person heal out loud while people threw stones and judged. And she made it to the promised land. This whole Aces season is a testimony to faith, to hard work, to love. And this is a team that was built brick by brick. This dynasty was built from draft picks. Their first box office trade was this season with Jewell Loyd. De'Arica Hamby, drafted to San Antonio. Kelsey Plum, drafted to San Antonio. A'ja Wilson, drafted to the Aces. Jackie Young, drafted. They picked up some other strong pieces along the way, because NaLyssa Smith, man, that was one of the best moves of the year. I mean, I might as well deem it the best because it came out with it had the best result. This is beautiful basketball. Chelsea Gray is a magician. Jackie Young has really leveled up in facilitating. Once her and Chelsea Gray found balance in that backcourt, they became the best duo in the league. They have so many storylines. NaLyssa Smith, coming from Indiana, played for a team for 3 seasons. And no matter if we know business is business, it looked like they gave up. The Indiana Fever gave up on NaLyssa Smith. She went to Dallas, where I felt she was underutilized or misused or she was just a part of a system that really didn't fit. And then she's traded to Vegas, gets to play with her favorite player. It just filled a void, and then it brought people together who need to learn from each other. The Aces needed scoring production in the post. A'ja couldn't carry the load on her own. That's what happened last season. And that was part of the struggle in the first half of this season. They do not win a championship without NaLyssa Smith. Now, I've been critical of Kia Stokes. I respect her having 3 championships. But I will say, I was criticizing the rotation and her fit into that rotation. She was taking up a lot of minutes and not being productive when the Aces needed offense. She was slow on defense in moments that were crucial. But coming in and playing minimal moments, knowing the defense, having that veteran experience under your belt to know what to do in these clutch situations is perfect. Her being used the way that she was used throughout these playoffs is perfect for her career. But anyone who criticized her to start the season, I believe they're absolutely justified. Now, while Aaliyah Nye didn't get a lot of moments in the playoffs, what she contributed to the team in the moments that she did was very important. Aaliyah Nye was like a Meg Gustafson. What you get out of Meg is hustle, heart. I think that defense is really what kept Aaliyah out, and then them having Dana be such a strong force off of the bench, and them just really needing experience in those moments, because it was just high-level basketball from all of the teams in the playoffs. This was a wonderful playoffs. Don't let anybody tell you differently. I don't care if it was a sweep. Great basketball. But Aaliyah Nye's minutes were reduced, I believe, due to defense and just mismatches. But the hustle that she showed through the tough moments during the season is motivation to her teammates. They saying Aaliyah worked this hard. That's motivating to them. That's inspiring them. Everybody on the team has a role, and it don't always go into the box. It don't always go into the box score. A'ja Wilson won 5 postseason awards this season. She is the only WNBA player to do that, and people still don't want to have the conversation. People are still in the comments talking about it's too early. It's not too early. And I think it's about to be that Kobe versus LeBron situation with Maya Moore and A'ja Wilson, with people who were able to witness more of what Maya Moore was doing on the court versus the people who are just tuning in to A'ja Wilson. Although Becky Hammon said that A'ja Wilson is all alone on Mount Rushmore. You know, of course, coach gonna say what coach gonna say. But for me, I think that A'ja Wilson is able to impact the game from a broader way. Maya Moore is not playing the type of defense that A'ja Wilson is playing, and that's where the length comes into play. Now, offensively, listen, Maya got some moves, man. Maya has moves. They just play different positions. So it's really difficult to say who's the GOAT. But right now, I could tell you that Maya Moore has 4 championships, and truth be told, she should have 5, and Candace Parker should have 2. But listen, I ain't here to complain about the referees. All I know is we are witnessing one of the best players to ever play the game of basketball, period, man or woman. I cried after I seen A'ja Wilson play live. She came to Atlanta, I cried after that game. Like, it really did something to me spiritually. And that's just how I feel about basketball, but especially this Aces team. Like, I just feel connected with what they do as a franchise, how they treat people, and I just think it's inspiring in life. And conversely, we got a glimpse of what could happen when you don't move that way. Because we watched Phoenix completely melt down multiple times. It was hard to watch. Alyssa Thomas is a great player, but I can't say that I love her body language. It was bad. Her body language was bad. And it's one of them things, you like it or you don't. I like her being the bad guy. I like her up against my team. She's very aggressive. I don't understand the officiating situation. They let her get away with stuff. They let Alyssa Thomas get away with things because of her track record. That's just how she played. I think it's similar to Diana Taurasi. Like, they let Diana Taurasi get away with some things. Tenure. But man, how Alyssa Thomas was pushing A'ja over them screens last night, game 4, I wanted to come through the TV, man. Like, get your unhand my GOAT. I ain't with all that. She can hurt people, you feel me? She did hurt people. Her being so unsettled impacts her team. That's why, honestly, if you check the records, I wasn't all for DeWanna Bonner coming to Phoenix. I think that Phoenix could have got to the championship without DeWanna Bonner. I've seen DB and AT meltdown like this in Connecticut. That's why I expected Phoenix to lose that Minnesota matchup. I did not expect Minnesota to go down like that, but they just got bulldozed through. Brute strength beat the Minnesota Lynx. The Lynx are going to have to get stronger, and that's 2 seasons in a row. Phoenix had a strong season. They have no reason to hang their head. They definitely went farther than I thought from the beginning. I had them ranked maybe 6th. On paper, they sounded good. Satu Sabley, Alyssa Thomas, Kalia Copper, that sounds great. But the Aces expose their weaknesses. Like, they don't have a real guard outside of Alyssa Thomas. Yes, Sammy Whitcomb can play a little point guard, but Sammy Whitcomb, she needs to be off ball. I think she's most effective off ball. Monica Cole-McConney is a strong guard, but she's a young guard too. So who was her real support? She didn't really have a supportive point guard to navigate her through that or to fall back on when the moments felt a little bit too big for the rookie. Dana Evans was able to really get into AT's head, and I think that impacted the game. But while Dana was getting into AT's head, she was still able to stay even keel, but she's won a championship before. She knows these moments. She was able to control her emotions. Now we're watching this emotional team play out, and I think Nate felt like he needed to get emotional with him because he has done this throughout the season where he'll get a tech and that sparks a turnaround for his team. So I think that's what he was trying to do, but he went a little too overboard. Maybe he was a little bit more emotional because he was on the verge of being swept, and that's embarrassing. But I think that ejection was absolutely justified because get out of my face. Fist was clenched. He could have kissed her. And he's a man at the end of the day, towering over this woman. I don't care if it's the finals. There's some things that I let fandom in the sport of basketball rule over. But when it comes to that type of stuff, no. Because we can't talk about how we want more from the refs, but we're not respecting the refs. And then for him to have these complaints after saying that he hasn't complained about the referees all playoffs when he could have taken that moment to stand with his peers, Coach Hammon, Cheryl Reeve, Sandy Brondello, Nakase, Tyler Marsh has spoken out too. He could have stood with his fellow coaches because it impacts him too. But it was working in his favor because Phoenix is an aggressive team. And the leniency works with the style of play that Alyssa Thomas has. So that's why I don't know what he's talking about when he's talking about it's difficult to officiate her. They're really not. Nate was just outcoached. I didn't understand the single coverage on A'ja Wilson. I thought from the jump, Alyssa Thomas on A'ja was a bad idea. Maybe they just thought the aggressiveness in the defense was going to impact A'ja's ability to score. But I really think that they should have switched to DB a little bit sooner. I mean, she was still getting cooked too. Honestly, they just didn't have anybody that could guard A'ja Wilson, but who does? They also didn't have an answer for Jackie Young or Chelsea Gray. Their defense just was not strong enough to take down the Aces. I think his rotations were stagnant. He left Alyssa Thomas in way too long. When she's starting to get frustrated, maybe sitting her down, helping to reel in the emotions. Like, some emotion is great. It does spark her teammates, but too much can be too much. Coach Hammon has 3 championships in 4 seasons. She's won under Coach Reeve, who's been in the league for 16 years. When you look at Coach Hammon's experience, going back to her as a player, having the type of drive that she has as a player, the will to overcome. She's been overcoming her whole life. Then to make it to the NBA, which is, no matter how you feel about it, the standard of basketball. She was a coach for one of the best franchises of all time, from one of the best coaches of all time. She learned from Greg Popovich, well respected in the NBA. It's not coincidence. Her first season, she wins a championship. We are witnessing the best coach in the history of the WNBA in real time. We're witnessing the best player in real time with A'ja Wilson. We're witnessing the best coach in WNBA history with Becky Hammon. She's just a pro. She knows how to adjust. She overcomes adversity. She speaks life into her teams. Man, she's great to talk to in the pressers. I'm just saying, this is high IQ here that knows the business of people too. I'm thankful to be in the position to ask her questions, to pick her brain. I like to think that we got deep. She gave me some good answers often. I feel like I got lengthy responses. We talked about her thoughts on the zone defense before the Aces started to play zone defense, and then they ran that jump defense in this series against Phoenix, and it worked. That boxing one on Kahleah Copper, who Kahleah had a great series. She was exactly what she needed to be for Phoenix. She gave it all she had. She was killing the Aces single-handedly in first quarters of multiple games. And then the Aces switched to the boxing one, the jump defense, which is just a mixture of man-to-man and zone principles. After the loss to Minnesota, I asked her about how she feels about the zone because she didn't play any against Minnesota. And it's like when you're losing by 53, I'm just like, are we going to switch it up? And she didn't because she really wanted to drive home that they were going to have to get down the man-to-man principle. So once they started to look better with their man, they could move into the jump defense to the zone defense, and they had to work their way up because defense was the point of emphasis from the start of the season. And once they fixed their defense, everything else started to flow because when you're giving up points, it's hard to be relaxed in your offense. You're giving up so many points, you're feeling desperate to score. And I think that that's what Chelsea Gray fell victim to, which is why she struggled in the beginning of the season with her assists. A'ja Wilson was leading the Aces in assists. And I felt like Chelsea Gray just wanted to put everything on her back. She wasn't trusting her teammates. Growing with the Aces this season has just been a joy to do. And with the Aces success, I feel success in my life too. The Aces have helped me grow my platform, grow as an analyst, just being able to critique high-level basketball, to be able to talk to professionals, willing to sacrifice their ego. Because everybody is not going to be happy and a presser after they lost 53 points. Not to say that they were happy, but a lot of people not even going to want to answer your questions. We see how pressers go with Kahleah Copper. This has just been a great season to be not only a WNBA fan, but an Aces fan specifically. But what are your thoughts, Hoops Tribe? How do you feel about the Aces season? What are your raw emotions right now? How do you feel about the Phoenix series? And what was your favorite series throughout this whole playoffs? Let's talk hoops. Shout out to the homie A. Renee, by the way. Power, the photographer. She made these for Brittany Griner. So if you were in Atlanta, you may have a collectible. You know, I had the exclusive because she tried, you know what I'm saying? Women's Basketball 365. Shout out to Power, the photographer.